I always say to my clients that if you want to be happy and healthy and less stressed out, you should be doing what you want to do. What is your authentic self? But I realize there are a lot of us that don't know how to reach that authentic self. In this video, I will tell you 3 things that you can do to rediscover what it is exactly that you like. But first, before we go there, I want to explain why someone can have a difficulty of identifying what is the authentic self, right? Because it sounds like, what, you don't know who you are? But many of us don't know who we are. Why? Because we grow up in the environment where we're not being allowed to do what we want to do or be who we want to be. And of course, you can say, well, every child wants to be an astronaut, but doesn't mean that it will be. But I'm talking about more subtle things, such as, let's say you're feeling cold or you're feeling hungry, and then somebody tells you, most of the time is the authority. It says, no, you're not hungry. No, you're not cold. And I tell you my personal story. I remember when I was growing up, there would be times that I will have a headache. And I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old, I remember. And I would tell my mom that I have a headache. And she would tell me, no, you're not. You are going to school, young lady, and I don't care. What was that? That was something that my needs were not met. More than that, I've been just gaslighted and said, like, whatever I'm feeling, that's not even important. More than that, it shows that the authority that was my mother was not really there for me to meet my needs. So I learned for the rest of my life now, in my adult life, my needs don't matter. So I grow up to be a people pleaser, but the worst part is that anything that has to do with me, I totally identified as false because it was not approved by my mother, hence it's not true. And I have clients that come to me and I just tell them simple thing like, what are the things that you do during the day? And they tell me what to do, what they need to do, what all these things. But also, if you will do something every single day, maybe for 5, 10, 15 minutes, as much as you can, but if you do something, at least one thing that you like doing it every day, it will help you to lower your stress. And especially if you're doing it, let's say at the end of the day, then it becomes like this super treat for you. So the rest of the day you're working and you're doing all the business, but then you'll be doing something fun at the end of it. So you're looking forward to that. So like a little treat, little reward for yourself. Also, if you do that, even if it takes 5 minutes, you showing yourself that you're not abandoning yourself, that you're meeting your needs. Very important. But a lot have problem with that because there is this thing of, if you grew up in the environment where you've been told to shut up and sit down, or maybe you've been pushed into liking some things when you really don't like eat your broccoli, right? You will have a difficulty of even finding those things that you want to do or what you like doing it. So that's why I created this video. So number one thing that you can do to help you to find your authentic self as of what is that you like to do, what is that young child inside of you actually like doing it, now being an adult, really start paying attention to the things that you like and you don't like. Let's start with the emotions that immediately you can feel tension in your body, something that you already know you have aversion to it or you have resentment towards it, because that means you don't like doing something. When you discover that you don't like doing something, then you do the opposite. So you can look at your day right now and make a list of things that you are doing it. Or, you're like, well, at work, I don't want to do it, but I still need to do it. Okay, fine. Then look at the things that you can change. How about that? Like maybe there are some things that you do that really not really helping you. You feel like you don't want to do them. Well, let's say running around the block. You're like, I don't like this. Okay, then you need to ask yourself, why are you still doing this? And when you find the reason why you're doing this, maybe you want to honor somebody else. Then you say, okay, but what is that? What do I like? I still need to get I want to work out. I mean, I still want to take care of my body. So what can I do? Then you try new different things. But if there's something that you already feel like it's not helping you, you don't like this, usually we like the opposite thing or not that thing. Because the one way is to know, how do you know what you like? Is when you discover what you don't like. That's the easiest way. The second thing that you can do is when you already know that you don't like those, but then you're like, well, but there's so many choices, I don't even know what else. Then you start trying out other things that you see other people do. Or you look at your time, how much time you have, at your time budget, and all of those things. There's lots of things that you can do that doesn't even cost anything. Okay? You can find those. But also start asking yourself, uh, do I really like this? And then when you start doing something, let's say, we always hang out on social media and you can see all kinds of ideas that people have. Also, look what your friends do. Maybe you can try something else what they are doing. But the key here is when you start doing it, you need to really tune in into your body. How that makes you feel? Do you feel invigorated? Do you feel energized? And do you feel excited? When you tried one, two, three times, maybe now you think you want to go dancing because your friend is taking dancing classes. And maybe you never thought about that because maybe you were constantly shamed when you were a child of your body image. And now you're like, I don't know, people laughing at me before, and I'm not sure do I want to do this because there's, how about you just try? And then you go and have some dance classes and see how your body feels. Do you feel like you want to go back? If you want to go back, great. Go and do that again until you feel like, well, you know, that's not really my thing. It's very important also to pay attention, not only how you feel, but also do not get yourself involved into another thing that ends up that you don't want to do it. Always have a plan B how to get out of this. Don't sign up for a yearly membership and then find out after two or three times going there, you're like, you know what, that's not my thing. So try out as many things as possible. Also, if you think like, well, but that's going to take me a long time, fine. Then just make a list of things that you see other people do. You know what? Just chat GPT, okay? Say 20 things, what questions can you ask me to determine what maybe activities I would like to enjoy every day as a hobby? And then it can help you. But when you're looking at those, make a list, and then you can just mentally go through them and think, okay, I like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. What else can I do? Oh, I can try this. No, I don't have enough time for this. Oh, but then I need to buy the gear, so scratch that. And you just kind of go through it. But always feel into your body, how that makes you feel. I tell you, there's a personal story. When I was doing something for the long day and I had, things to do, whatever. But I was writing a book, the previous book. I'm writing now the Calm Process book, which actually going to come out at the end of July, by end of July. So I know I have like a month to finish this book. But I remember very clearly how I was doing something that I needed to do all day long. And it was like, oh my gosh, I have no energy. And that was like 5 p.m. already. And I was like, oh, I just had it. But the moment I thought that I will write a book, and I love doing that, my energy level spiked. I was like, wow, it's amazing. Because that what is when we do something that we don't like to do, that's causing us stress. But when we do something that we like doing, that's causing us spike in energy, we're happy, we really want to do it, and time is just flying by because you're doing something that you enjoy doing that. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that feeling of elation. So you have to try out. Then also, the third thing, you can go into your childhood memories, if it's not too painful, that is, and try to remember things that you liked doing when you were a child. Maybe you liked singing. But then the authorities in the household, their parents, your siblings, teachers, whoever, they said, oh, you have no voice. How dare you? Shut up and sit down. Your sister's doing a much better job. Or maybe you always wanted to play on the piano, but they never paid for any classes, and they said, what, we have no musicians in the family, you don't have the gene for that, just forget about that. Well, now you're an adult, so how about you start with some music, piano lessons. Give yourself that opportunity. And if you may think, well, I don't really remember what I was liking when I was a kid, maybe you have siblings that you can talk to and ask them, do you remember any things that I liked? Maybe there were some hobbies that I was interested in. Of course, ask that if you have a good connection with them. If they, they can talk to you and not ridicule you, then definitely don't talk to them. So the most important part is to have empathy towards yourself. And even if you'll go through all of those processes and you still cannot find anything, or you may procrastinate, maybe you think, well, I'm not going to have time, and you will notice, if you start noticing that there is some pushback going on, it's excuses. Maybe you're like, well, I love traveling, but I don't have the money and the time, so forget that, Or, but sure, I would love taking bubble baths every day, but I have to take care of my kids, and this is not happening, and all the dogs and cats I need to feed, I don't have time for this. When you start feeling the pushback, it's a sign that you're not giving yourself permission to experience all those things. That means your loyalty to your authority figures in your life when you were growing up as a child, yeah, those that saying, hey, don't do this, do that, they're still alive. Those voices are still alive naturally, because we grow up and and look into all those rules and regulations, and we people please in order to survive. So then you need to have a little conversation with your inner child and just say, okay, I know you're afraid. I know you are maybe thinking and maybe believing that you will get punished for wanting something. And I know you had an experience before where your needs were not met. But now we're grown now, and we will do whatever you want to do. What is it you want to do? And you will not be punished, ridiculed, or whatever. Yeah, I know. Have conversation with your inner child. Especially if you've been abused a lot emotionally, I hope not physically, and you just totally erase the identity of who you are, and you're very big in people pleasing. This process could be also very emotional, so it can take courage for you to actually allow yourself to do that. And if you feel any emotion is coming up, regret, anger, shame, resentment, all of those, allow them to pass through you. And if they're coming, you're like, okay, just sit, take a piece of paper and write. And it's very important for you to start writing it, because when you write, you're putting all of that energy through your hands and you're processing them. And that's mean you're allowing yourself to be you. You're honoring your own needs. You're not abandoning yourself. So that process is also very, very healing. So, do you have any passions that you just discovered by listening to this video? Like, you know what, I'm going to try out. I would love to hear about it. Leave me a comment below. And if you want a coaching session with me, please go to my website, beamazingyou.com, and book it. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and sign up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already.